Well, our first guest today has owned 26 neighborhood bars in the Denver area. He has listened to thousands of stories from young female employees and customers about men behaving badly.
And now with daughters of his own about to plunge into the dating world, he wrote this book. The title is Most Guys Are Losers and How to Find a Winner, Dating Wit and Wisdom from Your Dad. And we are pleased to welcome Mark Berzins to the Yellow Couch this morning. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you both. Thanks for having me.
Do you get a lot of heat for the title of your book?
You know, my buddies, I got a little man code violation, from them. And, of course, I had to remind them I have 3 really good reasons to break man code. And so I got to make 3 really good matches, if nothing else.
And what are those 3 reasons' names?
My oldest daughter's Claire, and then my middle daughter, who just graduated, is Caroline, and then I have a 10-year-old named Bridget.
Oh,
okay.
She's not allowed to read the book yet.
No, too soon.
I'll keep her hopeful for now.
Exactly.
Keep her hopeful.
Well, I like what you say about hope, because you say women go into the dating world filled with all this hope and these wonderful ambitions of finding the right person, but you say what they need to be is more cautious.
They do. You know, I think women today, so smart, beautiful, fit. Women are the total package today, and they are brimming with confidence, and they're also full of hope. And part of the reason I wrote this book is, you know, guys are trouble, and a lot of guys are trouble, and it's true. I see it all the time. I've seen so many train wrecks, just among my staff. I've seen these train wrecks, and so yeah, I say be hopeful, but you have to temper that. You really have to temper that with some caution, because you'll get caught up with a loser, and that's trouble.
You get hurt.
Do you think at bars where a lot of these stories have come from that you've heard of too, you have an overpopulated sample size of losers, and that you could easily point out? Is that the prime place you're going to find them anyway?
You know, I have a buddy of mine who's a doctor, and he had said, oh, you know, it's because of the environment you're in, but we're in the neighborhood bar business, and so it's a lot of local people. It's not a nightclub, it's not downtown, it's pretty normal people, and more importantly, you hear the stories.
Yeah.
When you're on the other side of the bar, you hear the stories about, oh, he did this or he did that, and I'm mystified sometimes at, why are you still with this guy? And so that's part of the other advice, is when you realize you're with a guy that's a loser, you just got to cut him loose. So.
Were you ever a loser? Were you ever one of these guys?
You know, I had my moments, especially when you're younger. And in my good guy chapter, I talk about what I think are characteristics of good guys. And one of those really important things is coachable. You really want a guy who's coachable. And so I've always found that I like to win. I want to win in the end, and so I've always been a pretty coachable guy. And so I use that feedback loop, and I made myself better in some ways. And I think there are men out there that you'll find over time improve themselves, but that's pretty exceptional too. I mean, most guys, you can't change them.
Well, I think this is fascinating. You say, I can't tell you how many terrific women I know who just assume that I know a good single guy for them. I always tell them that I do know a lot of great men who are single, but none that I would recommend dating. And you also say that the guys that you would want to hang out with are not necessarily the guys that a woman would want to hang out with or should hang out with, and that a lot of guys who are single for a reason.
Oh, it's true. And in fact, most guys that buy my book are losers that are friends of mine. They know it. You know, they'll say, you know, I don't want to get in a relationship, or they know that they're not the kind of guy that women want. But that doesn't make them unacceptable to hang with. I use the term loser in here to say, for relationships, these character types are not going anywhere.
You know, it's interesting. I've told Molly this before, and she always agrees with this. My mom has once told me that men will tell you who they are, and when they do, you should listen. Yeah. So things like, you know, I shouldn't be in a relationship. I'm not ready for this. I'm bad at this. I'm not a good guy. You know, whatever they tell you, they mean it. So listen, take it to heart. Break down who you think the losers are, and what kinds of things we should listen for or hear or see.
Well, the guys that'll tell you right up front, you got career single guy who will tell you, hey, I love my career, if it'd be fun to hang out with you. They're being pretty sincere. Hey, I don't have any interest in getting married. And I think because of that hopeful nature of women, they think,
I'll change them. I'll be the one.
I'll be the one who will make it. And it's sort of like Mr. Big from the Sex and the City series. he's right up front. Hey, I'm being totally transparent.
Yeah.
And so career single guy is one of those guys. I think guys, I cover quite a bit in the book about infidelity and guys who cheat. And it doesn't matter if they cheat in the context of marriage or they cheat in the context of just dating. Guys who are playing the field, that are out there dating a lot, they're going to be chronically that way, has been my experience. So,
and you say if they use the phrase I couldn't help myself or I couldn't stop, this is somebody who will repeatedly offend.
Oh yeah, that's just an excuse. And women, unfortunately, women buy into that excuse that men have needs. I hear women say that. Well, you know, men have needs, and you think every man I know has an incredible imagination and could take a hot shower. And so I don't, I don't see any scenario under which his needs are going to drive him to do something he knows is wrong.
Exactly.
Except that he's going to make that exception. So.
Yeah. What's a mistake that women make?
I think women make a mistake thinking I'm attracted to this guy, he's attracted to me, I'm going to hook up with him. And you think there's the mutual attraction, and I think women tend to sleep with men too early. I mentioned the book, and this came up sort of spontaneously at a question and answer I had about why do guys do that? And I say, women have, I'm attracted to him or I'm not attracted to him. And that's two categories. Guys, and this is particularly true when they're drinking, guys have attractive, not attractive, and this big adjustable pie chart in the middle that I call doable. In the book I say it's doable. And unfortunately the more alcohol, and they figure, hey,
my friends will say that.
Yeah, it's available, and she's available, and I'm going to sleep with her. And then when he doesn't call you back, unfortunately that's usually what it meant is, hey, I took the free hookup and I'm not calling back.
And you've been married, we should say, for, is it
22 years?
22 years.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned my lesson. I had a really incredible gal who I dated all through college and after, and I lost her because I had some bad tendencies. I was a drinker, I was a partier. There's a time to sort of grow up in some ways, and I didn't do that. And so when I met my current wife, I knew right away. And like I said, guys know. And I thought
You knew right away you wanted to marry her?
I knew right away she was the right one for me.
Aww.
And so I thought I've got to bring a little more self-control. I've got to really try to be better. And I think that's true of good men. If you think that guys need discipline to be a good boyfriend, wait till you become a dad. Becoming a dad's really hard as a guy because you're in your own little world. You got all your fun stuff you like to do. And
we have a guest who we won't call him out. His partner is pregnant. She's pregnant, and he's like, I know. This is going to be payback. I'm going to have a girl. Really quick, a few true and false because we ran out of time. But I got to ask you, true or false?
No answers, just true or false.
Yeah, just true or false. A good man is hard to find.
True. Okay.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Yep.
You should love your boyfriend unconditionally.
Yep.
Men have one-track minds. Everyone deserves a second chance. False.
Agreed. Abusers don't.
Yeah. Why buy the cow if the milk is free? Should women play hard to get? Women should play hard to get. False.
No, they should not. A lot of times in the bar you hear this, oh, should I ignore him? Should I do this? Should I do that? And only wolves like the chase. So you got
fascinating.
You got a wolf, that's a loser anyway. So
that is fascinating.
Love it. This is great. I can't wait to read your book. People can get their hands on your book as well. Again, it's called Most Guys Are Losers.
It's on Amazon.com, so love to have people jump out there and grab it. I brought you an extra copy.
I like
that.
Mine's already at home.
And really quick, because we didn't hit this, here's the website where people can find your book, mostguysarelosers.com. There's some incredible testimonials from people who've read your book, including a mom who said she's putting that book in her daughter's duffel bag on her way to college. Just really quick for people out there, especially because I think we have a responsibility as moms to raise good boys who are going to make good boyfriends and good husbands. What are the qualities of a good man?
Good men have self-control. They can be disciplined and have self-control. They're loyal, loyal and honest. They're coachable, and I always think a good indicator if young men have other women in their lives, see how they treat those women, because a lot of times that's learned behavior, And if they have sisters, I think that's good because sisters don't take any guff off of guys.
Men with sisters are good to date. That's very
absolutely.
true.
It was great to meet you.
So
Thanks
nice
for being
to,
here.
I loved
so
it.
nice to meet you
Yeah,
both.
really awesome.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. We have guys so much. We asked him to stick around. Mark Berzins, author of Most Guys Are Losers, is still with us. We got a viewer comment.
Yeah, it was really great. She said, thanks so much for the segment this morning regarding your book, Most Guys Are Losers. She's trying to extract her granddaughter, who's 18, from an abusive relationship. She said she immediately went online, ordered your book to give to her.
Oh, and she should, because I think sometimes you need to hear it from someone other than your family, sometimes other than your friends. She'll be defensive with her grandmother. She won't be defensive with the book.
And it's coming right from a man.
Great point.
You know?
All right, where's a place you should go and not go on a first date?
You know, I always think first date, avoid drinking, just because everyone makes poor decisions once they have a few drinks. So I always recommend coffee shop. You can have one cup of coffee if you want to cut the date short. You can drink lots of coffee if you're having a great time.
Yeah, because a lot of people say don't go to dinner because if you don't like the person, you're stuck with a meal.
Exactly.
You gotta sit and wait.
And you say don't do shots on a first date.
Women never do shots.
No.
Never. What's something a woman should know to keep a good man happy?
You know, I think that men like to have their guy friends. They like to have their guy time. Women like to have the reassurance of, he's my best friend, he's my best friend. Don't try to make your guy into your best friend. You're his girlfriend or his wife. That is the highest and best. Let him have a real guy best friend. So.
Oh, that's good advice.
That's interesting. Let him go out with the guys.
Well, it drives me crazy when women are like, he's my best friend. I married my best friend. And you think, oh, come on. No guy
All
wants.
girls say that.
Yeah, and as a guy, I don't want to sleep with my best friend. I want to sleep with my girlfriend or my wife. So lay off the make him your best friend thing. That's not cool.
You distinguish the difference between sensitive and thoughtful, but you got to get the book to read it, so check it out again.
Most guys are losers.